So let me get back to the main topic that I had to discuss here for the types of machine learning, right? So it's a types of it's a complete picture of types of machine learning. So there are three types. The one is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. Machine learning that has been categorized in three domains further: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. Further, supervised has couple of other goals, unsupervised have couple of different goals, likewise reinforcement also. So supervised is like you're keeping somebody's hand in your hand and guiding them just to come along, right? So if you're guiding somebody, if I am teaching you and spoon feeding you everything one by one, and on the other hand next day I'm asking you the same questions that I have already made you understand, maybe made you understand day before. So based on those teachings, based on those learnings by you, you'll be answering and will be judged, will be analyzed for your performance. So I have taught you suppose 10 things, and tomorrow I'll be asking couple of questions, and if you'll be able to answer that, based on that we can decide the accuracy also. Suppose that accuracy could be 98%, 95%. Within 5 minutes I'll be completing the session today, and I'll be telling you about what to install, how to install, from where to install also, right? So further, supervised category has categorized in classification and regression. Somebody's mic is on, please try to cut off. Please check your phones, microphones, please. Thank you.
First, so
Yes.
many were commenting like they couldn't able to see the screen, PPT screen. Can you please help them?
Okay, so let me stop this, and I'm sharing this screen once again. You try to check and let me know.
Sure.
Is that visible now? Wait. Is that visible now?
Yes,
Yes,
this
sir.
is visible.
Yes.
Okay, so is that visible now? Please give me a reward once again.
Yes,
Yes,
it
sir.
is.
It's visible
Perfectly
now.
visible.
Okay, thank you. So supervised has got classification and regression. So what is classification? What is regression? That we'll discuss later, because we have algorithm of each category also, each subcategory also, and then in unsupervised category, let me explain you what is unsupervised first of all. Uh, Unsupervised is something like which has never been taught to you. Think about it, and that you have already, I mean, that you have maybe innovated by yourself, that you have already analyzed, that you are observing daily, right? Based on your observation you are trying to understand something. You have seen two, suppose let's take an example. Suppose you have taken two, you have seen two animals, one is cat and one is dog, and you have not seen those two animals before as a child. So you cannot find out whether this is dog, this is cat. You need to ask somebody whether what is the name of this animal. But you will understand that this cat is different and this dog is different. There are five fruits available in a box on a table, suppose, or they're available in a plate. So you can understand because of taste, because of colors, because of shape, right? So you can separate them based on many parameters, based on weight, based on size, based on price, based on based on taste, right? So if you observe everything, and based on your observation you understand something, and whatever you understand, if any person is going to ask you the question related to that, so you can at least answer something. If you have no such clarity that what is the name of those animals, but still you have clarity that cat will be cat, matlab cat will be different one from the dog, right? Cat and dogs are not same. Likewise parrot and pigeon will not be the same. Likewise, male and female can be analyzed, right? A person, a small child who is seeing two human being, one as male and female. So after observation, couple of observation, couple of days, that child will be capable of understanding that both are not same, based on voice, based on skin, based on hairs, based on couple of other things, right? So and then under unsupervised category, and this unsupervised category is very very important. Everybody is intelligent, everybody is quite innovative, but the amount of innovation, amount of observation, amount of innovation and intelligence in this unsupervised category will be depending upon amount of observations. So if you'll have quite good amount of observation, then there could be a possibility of self understanding or self diagnosing or self learning part in life, and it comes with self learning here only. So wherever self learning word will be coming, will be required, that will be underlying under this category of unsupervised. Okay, so let's go ahead and in unsupervised category, we used to deal with the neural network. We used to deal with neural network. However, neural network comes under supervised category also, right? And neural network does not come under reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is totally based on some real-time mathematical formulas that we always follow in life. Do this, and if it is not good, okay, so give your reward, negative reward, and repeat it. Do some mistakes. It's like iteration process. That's it. In each iteration, I'm sure. Suppose you are in a maze. Suppose you are in a colony, right? You are not getting your friends home because you do not have the clear idea about the address of your friend. So after a couple of iterations, while asking with every person in their home whether this is the home of your friend or not, so there are many options available for reinforcement learning that you do always in your life, and the algorithm that you put, that the process, that logic that you build for reiterating your mistakes, reiterating that process will decide the reinforcement learning, right? So reinforcement is quite easy, supervised is quite very easy, but the main thing is unsupervised, and this unsupervised learning only makes a difference between intelligent and less intelligent people, right? Intelligent and less intelligent people, right? So everybody is intelligent, but how big that intelligence would be will depend upon the amount of observations. And then after observations, dimensionality reduction or clustering, these two subtopics helps us to understand the amount of observation that we had, what will be the important under that observation could important can be used for taking decisions. Understood? Okay, so these things will be practically analyzed, will be practically handled on different data sets, on a visual data set, on numeric data set, on voice data set as well, right? So we'll be first of all dealing with the data. So we'll follow this chart. We'll mine some data, we'll store some data, we'll filter the data, we'll analyze the data, we'll take the decision, and we'll take that decision and we'll see whether that action was good or not, and should we need the reaction once again or not, right? So this journey will be practically implemented based on couple of programs on Python. And why we are using Python has a lot of reasons. Python is one of the only language right now in the world that has 360-degree dimension or 360-degree implementation in all the fields, for web, for application, mobile applications, for hardwares, for softwares, for servers, for networking, for everything you will be getting some libraries in Python. So if you compare Python with other languages, then you can take example of MATLAB. MATLAB is good for research only, but while developing some products, some tools, that you cannot do it with MATLAB, right? Because it is with a closed environment. It has paid subscriptions, right? You need to first of all purchase the paid subscription of MATLAB, and then The second thing is R. R is good for data science only, for analytical approach only, for visualizing data only. Till data science means if you are data scientist, if you are data analyst, whatsoever, then R language is good. For machine learning also, for some small sake, it is good, but you cannot build models, you cannot prepare deep learning models, you cannot build hardware devices based on that. Nowadays, like Raspberry Pi, even Node MCU, which is a family of Arduino, Jetson, Banana Pi, Mango Pi, right? Many other different maybe some of the CPUs or GPUs or TPUs. Google has launched TPU also. Google has launched one of the topic or platform for deep learning that is called as TensorFlow. So TensorFlow helps you to work with CPU, GPU, and TPU also. TPU is nothing but a tensor processing unit, and it's a kind of specific hardware. If you purchase that, then it will help you to build deep learning model in less time. One deep learning model can be built in your computer if your computer has 8 GB of RAM in maybe a good model I'm talking about in maybe 3 to 6 months, right? 3 to 6 months. Good model which I mean to be with around 90% of accuracy. If you need to slower the time, you can go on working with GPUs. It may slow down to or it may decrease your time to 1 month. Then if you work with cloud, then it can reduce your time to 1 week to 3 days to 1 week. And if you work with GPU and cloud both, TPU and cloud both, then it can be reduced to 1 day itself. So within 24 hours, with respect to 10 to 20, 15 GB, 50 GB of data also can be trained, and your model can be designed. But it's very costly working with the cloud and using those services, right? So if you're working in one of the industry, then that industry can pay you well. So many big industries can only help you to work with these things. But as a student, you have opportunity of using Google Cloud and Amazon Cloud, IBM Cloud. IBM Watson is there, Amazon AWS is there, Google Cloud itself is there, Alibaba Cloud is there, many cloud is there, right? So you can use those cloud to make a free account for the student, and you can use it for free for 1 year, right? And you can train those models. So DigitalOcean is one of them, and it gives you a good amount of space to train your data also, and many services as well. Microsoft Azure is giving you platform. It has hardware also and software as well. So you can use such platforms to deal with these things. So in this journey of 5 days, will be practically working with Python. Python has all 360 dimension, and it can be used for all the domains. One language is enough to learn and execute all the application areas, hardware and software both. And and it is very easy. It is one of the fastest interpreter ever. It can be compared with the fastness with C++. C++ is much faster than Python, but as an interpreter, because interpreter could be really easy, Python is very easy for any beginner. And every person, and the stake of programmers in the history now, the graph that tells around 26% of the people on the earth right now, they are using Python, and day by day it's been increasing. Python is available since maybe 25 years, I hope, and from last 5 years, let me give you my experience of working with Python. So Python knocked me in 2009, I hope. In 2009, I got to know about Python, that I should learn, but it was not having a good interface on which I had to program. So I was working with MATLAB and a couple of other languages also. So I've been working with 15 languages. I have programmed a couple of products and projects on 15 languages, including Java, JavaScript, or PHP, or maybe with a couple of data bases also, MySQL, maybe SQLite also, maybe that Oracle as well and cloud as well. So so whatsoever happened, that I did not give much importance to Python initially. Then in 2011, after 2 years, once again I got an opportunity for working with the product. So I left this Python and chosen MATLAB upon this. Then in 2013 again, this Python has launched. I was working with, because my foundation of learning was electronics and telecommunication and then computer science. That's why I'm quite, I hope I'm quite good with the hardware section as well. So Raspberry Pi has launched its first version, that was Raspberry Pi 2. So to work with the Raspberry Pi initially, I thought like I should go with Python only, because other languages like C++ or other things were not quite good, right? Were not quite feasible to work with Raspberry Pi at that time. So I thought I should start Raspberry Pi with Python only. And that time there were very less amount of editors available. Nowadays there are many editors on which you can write the program of Python. Even online editors are available, offline editors are available. You can download some softwares. You can download those softwares and write your programs. Otherwise, you can directly run a particular URL on website, and you can write your programs over there. If you want to save those programs, you can save them in your laptop, or else on your Google Drive as well, right? So it's a good idea. And even you have mobile phone, you can write your program. If you have a laptop, you can write your program in Python. So, and other thing is, Python is platform independent language. Once you're writing a program in Windows, that can be helping you out, or working in Linux also. However, dependencies can be challenging here, but same program will be working in all the platforms, right? So what else you required? And it's an open source language. It's totally free of cost. Design whatever you want. Nobody is going to charge you, right? If you want to develop some libraries by yourself, Python can accept your proposal. There are platforms like PyPy. There are platforms like GitHub, from where you can launch your own libraries also. You can understand. I'll tell you how to design your own library as well in this journey, right? So this is why the Python is quite helpful. And right now we're going to deal with couple of domains like data science, machine learning, and AI. So to deal with all these domains, one language is enough, that is Python for us, right? The other languages or the other topics that I'll make you I'll suggest you to understand apart from Python is, that is R as language, and data structure. Data structure and algorithms is one of the topic. Then another language, that is R, right? Those are prerequisites, right? Somebody has asked initially that what will be the prerequisites for this particular domain to enter up, right? So to jump into machine learning, the first and important thing is required, that is data structure. You need to understand data, and where to store that data, how to store the data, how to keep that data is very important. Some people, let me clarify with example. Suppose there are 5 people. Everybody is keeping their data in their laptops in different ways. Somebody is storing all the files on desktop. Somebody is storing their information in small folder in desktop. Some people have categorized their drives according to their own requirements, entertainment, maybe study or something like that, right? So likewise, structuring the data, if the data is too huge, we were talking about 5 people laptops only. Think about 1,000 or millions of people where they're storing the data information, and they have the accessing ability of putting their data on Gmail, emails, servers, number of places, right? They have at least majorly everybody in professional life would have 4 accounts, I'm sure. One would be Facebook, Insta, maybe LinkedIn, and Gmail, or emailing basically, right? So So all such sections or all such platforms are helping you to keep your data alive globally everywhere, right? And also you can store your data on different services like Google Drive is one of them, and many servers are free of cost available. For Apple, iCloud is available, you can use that. So likewise, we have got places where you can use or you can store your data, right? So this was the story of linking all the topics of today, and let me tell you how to install and what to install for Python, right? So let me briefly complete the entire explanation what I have gone through. So we have started with the topic of understanding the psychological part of uh, learning environment of a person, of a human being, and then we understood what is data, what type of data could be available, and we understood that inside data we have got one domain called artificial intelligence, under which we have got machine learning and deep learning. We understood the differences between them. We have understood the flow chart of implementing those algorithms. We have understood this part of uh, types of machine learning, or the sections of machine learning that we have: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. And then we have gone through with the proper format that we need to follow for this 5-day workshop or 5-day session, that will be mining, storage, filtering, analysis, decisions, and action or reactions, right? And data would be in all the format. And the example that I have taken last 1 minute was linking everything together, right? So one person who wants to be the expert in machine learning, I would not say expert of machine learning, I would say the complete domain as artificial intelligence, under which machine learning, deep learning will always be covered, right? Because of after completing your AI, you can lead it to cognitive science also. You can lead or you can work in cognitive science also. So artificial intelligence can be one of the topic of cognitive science, and cognitive science is itself a topic of data science, right? So data science is one of the biggest topic, under which a smaller topic is artificial intelligence. So to deal with artificial intelligence, I believe you have 3 to 4 prerequisites. The one is one programming language that we have picked, Python. The second is data structure, the structure of data that you need to understand, and their algorithms, their combination, their dimensionality, that ROI also, right? So after this, you need to understand mathematics. There are two maths that I would suggest. One, algebra or even linear algebra, and second is calculus. So calculus and algebra is quite good. Even though apart from this, the third mathematics that you can understand is statistics, right? So these things are very much important for visualization. If you want to add on one more requirement, that apart from Python, if you need only an analysis of data, then you can go with R, right? So these things will help you to start with the career with data science and machine learning, and going deep with the topics will make you confident to deal with the problem statement in the domain, right? So let's go ahead practically and let's try to implement, let's try to understand what exactly and how exactly we can install Python. So for Python, just go to any uh, browser and try to type there. Is that visible? Is that visible now?
Sir, it's visible.
Okay, so try to type here the link of Python website, that is python.org, right? Python.org. So you'll see this website here. Like the way I'm telling you, please try to repeat this only. Don't install or confuse while installing the right version of the software. Okay, so here this will be the website. This will be the primary home page of the website of Python.